Hey, writers. So, we've been talking about one strategy that we could use to generate ideas for personal narratives is to think about a time when we had strong feelings and then think about times when we had that feeling. So, yesterday, or maybe a few days ago, or maybe you did this in class, we thought about strong feelings and then times when we had that feeling. And so, today, now that I have that list, I need to think about which of these moments I want to think about a little bit more and maybe do some writing about. So when I look over at my list, I have four choices of things that I could write, right? So if I want to go to this list today, but I could also go to my people's list or my places list, or I could look at my notebook for ideas. But today I really want to write about a time I had a strong feeling. And so I look over these ideas and I think about which one I want to think about more and I want to do some writing about, right? And so for me, the one that I really wanted to share with you and share and think more about, kind of a not so moment, it's actually the time when I felt really guilty with my sister, something around the tree, right? And so, writers, I could pick up my pencil and start writing that story. But something that good writers do is before they put the pencil to the paper, they give themselves a moment to either talk it out to somebody else, think about it in their own mind, talk to a stuffed animal, or they could act it out. So, writers, I'm going to get a little crazy today, and I'm going to act out this story for you in a storyteller voice so that I really bring my story to life. I really relive it in my mind. And that way, when I go to write it down on paper, it's so much easier. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a minute. Okay. I'm going to really have to go back in my brain because this memory was when I was, oh gosh, I maybe like 8, 9, 10-ish, around that age, and I'm getting pretty old. So I really have to remember. Okay. Let me see if I can do this. Okay. I remember. My sister and I were sitting on the couch at our Nana's house watching Saturday morning cartoon, feeling really bored. Stacy, I'm so bored of these cartoons, I said to my sister. Me too, my sister said back to me. I know. Why don't we go out in the woods and climb our favorite tree? Awesome idea. Let's go. We dropped the remote control. We sprang up from the couch. We dashed out the door. We were running through the wet, dewy grass, racing to get to the tree. Beat ya, I said to my sister as I sprinted to the tree. Her legs were so much longer, like a gazelle. She passed me and boom, she got to the tree first. Practically panting, out of breath. You always beat me, I said in a huff. She looked at the tree and quickly started climbing. Ugh, I thought to myself, why does my sister always have to beat me at everything? She was 4 years older, taller, smarter, more better at everything. And I was starting to get a little annoyed. I pretended I wasn't even paying attention to her in the tree. And I started picking the blueberries that were around the tree. Next thing I knew, I turned around and there she was, way up on the tree branch, swinging her perfect gymnastic swings back and forth, back and forth. I'll show her, I thought, behind her, really slowly, trying hard not to crunch the leaves beneath her feet. I reached up when I got to her, and her shirt had rolled up just a little bit, and I could see her bare belly. I reached up very slowly and I went, "Tickle, tickle, 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 tickle." My sister said. Her hand slipped. Boom! She crashed down onto the ground. Ouch! She cried. I held in my chuckle and ran over to her. Stacy, what is it? I said in kind of an annoyed voice. My stomach, she said. I looked over and saw huge gash up the middle of my sister's stomach. Little did I know when I reached up my hands and tickled her that a tree branch was sticking out. And when she fell, the tree branch cut her belly. Stacy, I'm so sorry, I said. Go get mom, Stacy hollered at me. I looked at my sister. I looked back at my Nana's house, and I sprinted as fast as I could back through that grass, tears streaming from my eyes as I felt so bad that I'd hurt. So, did you see how I did that? I went back in my memory. I really thought about that moment and I told it and acted it out in a storyteller voice to really bring my story to life instead of just saying, we were watching cartoons, we raced outside, my sister beat me, she climbed the tree, I tickled her, she fell, I felt bad, right? Nobody's going to want to read that story, right? So I really have to try hard to go in my memory and remember the exact things that we were saying, doing, thinking, and feeling to bring my story to life. And one way, writers, that you can do that is by story acting it. Or again, telling it to a family member, telling it to a friend, to a stuffy, talking to yourself, whatever is helpful, but get the story out first before you go to paper, right? I hope that helps, and I can't wait to see what you come up with. Bye, writers.